In our first hour this morning, we want to get your thoughts on a recent announcement from the Justice Department, the formation of a special task force to deal with the issue of preserving religious liberty in the United States. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, saying this task force is needed. Critics saying it will favor some religions over others. We'll look at all the tangents of it in this hour, but we want to get your thoughts on this idea of a task force to preserve religious liberty in the U.S. If you say it is needed and you agree with it, 202-748-8000. If you say no, it's not needed, 202-748-8001. You can post on our Twitter feed if you want to give your thoughts there at C-SPAN WJ. And on our Facebook page, you can post at facebook.com/cspan. You can do so at the website. Sergio in Schenectady, New York. Good morning. You are next up. Go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call, and I appreciate the opportunity for people from around the country to express their views. I understand it's freedom of religion. I don't remember the last time I recall that there were people outside of churches or synagogues or mosques or whatever denying people the right to enter those buildings. I think that this is the basis of our country was freedom of religion. We also have the right to freedom from religion. People like Jeff Sessions and the people that support Donald Trump feel that they have the right to force their beliefs upon other citizens of this country. And I don't think that that's right. As far as the task force, this is just another example of the Trump administration forming another commission, just like the Voter Fraud Commission, to put forward an agenda that really is not supported by the majority of the citizens of the United States. Thank you for taking my call.
It was a national from Edward in Jersey City, New Jersey, who says this formation is needed, this task force is needed. Edward, hello.
Good morning, Pedro. I have mixed feelings about it, really, but I do stand on yes right now. Just basically to bring clarity, to help us to just basically discuss like religious freedom. And but I do agree with a little bit of what you read in that piece. They're basically igniting cultural tensions right now. I don't think the GOP, the Republican Party, is basically for liberty. I disagree with the Supreme Court ruling where the baker could deny the gay couple the wedding cake in the name of religious freedom. I thought that was very unfair. So I think that we do need a discussion. Gay marriage, the caller who mentioned gay marriage and the differences in licenses, I just think we need a discussion because we haven't finalized it yet. If anything, a task force. But I generally don't trust government and the interest that might be involved. So I don't know if we can have an honest discussion about it. But a task force, why not? Thanks, Pedro.
On Twitter this morning, if you wanted to participate in the Twitter poll on this topic, not scientific, it's purely just a response poll. Most of the respondents, 85%, saying such a task force is not needed this morning. This is also including the statement of John Smith, who said Trump helping out the religious groups, promises made, promises kept. He said that in all caps. Thanks. James from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi. You're on.
Hi, C-SPAN. Hi, America. I'm a very religious man, and I won't bring it around you. Okay, the drug war got to end. We can't get nothing. I won't push my religion on you. Don't push homosexuality or bisexuality on me. I'll do my religion in my house. Do your homosexuality and bisexuality in your house. That's a choice lifestyle, and it's really hurting America. Okay, and I'm not really for that stuff. I'm very religious, and I won't push God on you, but don't push the homosexuality on me neither, because I'm not...
So you're saying that such a task force is needed, and if that's the case, why?
For religion, for regions. Homosexuality's gotten way, way, way out of hand. Bisexuality's way. If bisexuality is not mentally ill, nobody's mentally ill. Okay, it's out of hand, Pedro. Okay, the cake guy.
Okay, we got you. From Wisconsin, who says no. Fran, hi.
Hi, Pedro. Yes, I've been listening, and I know there have been a lot of callers previously that have said exactly what I'm thinking, so I'm not going to take up much of your time. I thank you for letting me call and getting through, and I just want to say that as far as I'm concerned, no to this religious liberty task force. I think religious people, the religious right, and these conservatives should keep their noses out of other people's lives. conservatives, as far as I'm concerned, they're nothing but a bunch of dictating group of people that want to just put their noses in everybody's business. It comes to religion, that's personal. When it comes to pro-choice, that is a personal decision, and they should keep their noses out of other people's lives. Worry about themselves.
So generally, you think that religious people in the United States have a freedom to practice their religion as they see it. They're not curtailed by government in any way.
No, I think anybody should be able to practice their religion in any way that they want. They want to be religious. That's their right. But don't push it on anybody else.
Okay.
Not everybody.
Okay. Steve is next from South Carolina. Good morning.
Good morning, Pedro. And I do have a comment, but be patient with me because I want you to remember to ask your next guest if he thinks we're headed for a single-payer system or thinks we should have a single-payer system. Okay, back to religious liberty. It depends really on how you define religious liberty. I'm a Southern Baptist, and I go to a nice church. We never discuss politics or partisan politics or campaign stuff in the church. Now, we do discuss politically sensitive issues. An example would be abortion, which, of course, the Catholic Church is interested in. But when it comes to campaign time, if churches from the pulpit are supporting some candidates, whether it's Democrat, Independent, or Republican, I do not believe that has a thing to do with religion. I think that should be I just don't think it should be permitted from the pulpit. And if churches are taking part in partisan politics, for one thing, it fractures their congregation. I think they should lose their tax-exempt status. So I don't know if that's part of the definition of religious liberty or not, but that's just an opinion from me.
What about this idea of a task force, religious liberty in scope, but when it comes to personal practices of religious belief, do you think something is needed on that front?
Boy, that's a tough call, Pedro. It just can be defined in so many ways. I mean, there are some religions out there that just, I mean, obviously that are subversive, and I hate to see a Gestapo-like unit out there, investigating everybody and what they're doing, but they're, maybe there are things that are not good for this country. In the name of religion, some people are doing. Maybe it is needed.
Steve in South Carolina giving his thoughts this morning, the thoughts of Tim Tiemann of the Daily Beast on this topic, adding this morning, saying that, of course, people already have the right to worship. What, quote, religious freedom and, quote, religious liberty mean. The Sessions and his ilk are totally different. It means seeking to restrict the freedoms and equality of those whose lives you as a Christian person disapprove of. That is not an exercise of faith. It is an exercise in prejudice and discrimination. One of the thoughts from the author on the Daily Beast website. From Missouri, Mona says no. Tell us why.
Oh, because I feel like it's just what the man from the Daily Beast said. It's for the white conservative Christian. They say religion, but I don't think they would like for anybody but the Christian, white Christian, conservative ideas. That's what I think.
Dennis in Texas. Barry from Silver Spring, Maryland. Good morning.
Yes, can I get in here, please?
You're on. Go ahead.
Okay. I study history, the dull subject. That's what my college friends used to call it when I was in college, the dull subject. Okay, so I study history. And George Washington, Madison, Jefferson, Franklin, they would be turning over in their graves based on what Sessions has said. Thomas Jefferson once wrote, "I tremble for my country when I think that God is just." When Jefferson and Adams were in their 80s, and if memory serves correctly, they both died on July 4th. Jefferson and Adams used to correspond with each other by post, and it would take mail from the Washington area to Massachusetts 2 weeks to get there, and vice versa.
So, Jerry, appreciate the history lesson, but to all that and how it applies to the task force, please.
Very simple. This is a secular nation. The framers created it as a secular nation. It's a secular nation. It was supposed to be free from any religious influence whatsoever.
Okay, let's again on Twitter this morning. This is SRT saying that Christians are the only religion in the United States that the godless left is allowed to discriminate against. Bill King saying religious freedom is another push to allow churches, white Christian, to push candidates from the pulpit. If they do, they should pay taxes. On Twitter, you can make your thoughts there. Facebook as well. This is Costa Mesa, California. John, who says no. Hi, John. Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for C-SPAN. It's a contradiction. Separation of church and state. The liberty should be the liberty from government interference in religious any religion. If I wanted to create a religion today, I should be allowed to defend it as long as I'm not hurting anybody else. We have had, how many years have we had an example of Islam going the wrong, the radical Islam, the terrorism that's gone on with that. As an example, the Taliban in Afghanistan beating women. That's where the protection from people to, it is when Sessions was talking, you got the sense that he was talking about Christianity mostly. And people should be free to be agnostic or atheistic if they want to be atheists, And as far as funding goes for the Little Sisters of whatever, that it sort of rolls back to that. If you recall that, that where they weren't, they were required to, fund certain programs and this sort of thing. I think that's what it comes down. Donald Trump is.
Okay. Charles DeRitter, Louisiana, who says task force is needed. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Task force would be needed so that everybody has a right to their own faith. I believe Christianity is the only faith, the only true one. The Bible hadn't been proved wrong. They've discovered thousands of things on it. And with a task force, they should not force anybody to believe in God. Hey, he didn't put a fence around the tree of knowledge of good and evil. He just told them, the day ye eat thereof, ye shall die. He loved them, but he gave them the choice. You can choose the right religion or you can reject it.
That's Charles in Louisiana. More District Heights, Maryland. This is John. Hi.
Good morning and thank you. Listen, this thing called task force, just that name itself frightens me. As an African American, the one thing I'm afraid of in this country the most is these white evangelical Christians. Jeff Sessions, Donald Trump is nothing. The man is a liar, unapologetic, unrepentant, don't apologize for nothing.
So tell me why a task force is not needed.
Because, like so many other callers have said over and over and over again, number one, this is a secular nation. Number two, this is not a Christian nation, never has been a Christian nation. Number three, you can, right now, everybody who want to go to church can go any church they want to go to. If you take a look at it, who's been doing the most attacking in this country on the Muslim mosques, on the Jewish synagogues, on the African-American churches? It's your so-called white Christians, the very ones who Jeff Sessions want to start this doggone task force for.
Okay, let's go to Eleanor in New Jersey. Go ahead.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Eleanor Lanzaro in Morganville, New Jersey, a very small little town. I know exactly what is wrong with our country, and I would like to make our me president face to face, because I would like to debate him on morality and every kind of religion in this country. This has all been said before.
So Eleanor, to the idea of the task force, your thoughts on that, please.
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion.
And how does that apply to the
God? You can choose what God you choose to worship. Choose whomever you like.
Okay, Emmanuel is next. He is in Colorado.
Oh, thank you. I go back to what some of your previous callers said about an example. You keep asking for an example. And the Colorado case of the bakery. You have a person that, because of their religious freedom, chose not to serve these two people because of their personal belief to be gay. Now, if that's not racism or prejudice and somehow, what is it? And then the other one who called and said, well, they should be able to advertise and put a sign up. Well, we used to have signs, remember that? Blacks only, whites only. That's what it's coming to. This is a kind of a inch-by-inch creep toward fascism.
Okay, that's Emmanuel's thoughts this morning. To our Facebook comments this morning. Also, you can participate in a poll when you go to our Facebook page. Just like our Twitter page, you can participate in a poll there. This is Elaine Martz saying it will need to be in place when the Democrats get in power. Christians were persecuted under President Obama, little sisters, bakers, and taxpayers who have to pay for abortions. Then there are individuals who wrote books and spoke out and went to jail. Marlene Young saying just one more step in the right's plan to take our freedoms. Rob Ash saying, well, when we don't attend church, will the task force visit us Sunday afternoon or Monday to liberate us? You can make thoughts there on our Facebook page, also on our Twitter feed this morning at Cspan WJ. You can call us on the lines for those of you who say a task force is needed, 202-748-8001. If you say no, 202-748-8000. Our international viewers, 202-748-8003. Mike from East Northport, New York. Hello.
Hi, Pedro. Thanks for taking my call, and I appreciate C-SPAN. I definitely don't believe that you should have a task force for religion. Obviously, the task force for the voter fraud is very similar, and it's a way of just dividing us and making a political statement. It has nothing to do with religion. It has more to do with the voting public. Thank you.
If you go to Schenectady, New York, this is Mark. Go ahead.
I think there should be a liberty task force because religious freedoms are being attacked over this country in terms of the Ten Commandments are being taken away from public property, and school prayer has been eliminated. These are one of the few ways we can increase our level of morality and improve on that in our nation. So these are areas that I think the task force will protect when it comes to this new implementation. Thank you.
Jim from Dallas, Virginia. Hi.
Hello?
You're on. Go ahead.
Yes, this would just be another expensive exercise in futility by the government. They already endorse one religion over another.
Tony from Missouri, who says yes. Hi.
Yes, sir. Our declaration clearly says that we are created by our Creator. We are endowed by our Creator with unalienable rights. And we do need a task force to protect our Declaration of Independent Rights.
So you need a specific task force, even though it's enshrined in writing already?
Yes, sir. We need a task force to protect that.
Kelly in West Virginia. Go ahead. You're next.
Yeah, I don't think there should be a task force. The government, in anything they do, it just seems to go awry. And I just think that'd be one more thing that the government would mess up.
Let's hear. That's in the Washington Post. Diane is next. Diane from Macon, Georgia. Hi.
Good morning. I vote no against the Religious Freedom Task Force because this is not about religion. I'm a pastor. This is clearly about race and discrimination. These so-called Christians that support a morally bankrupt man who claim that he is a Christian now but does all kinds of egregious, segregated, and divisive things need to ask themselves, what actually would Jesus do?
So specifically, how do you connect the actions or whatever actions that will be with the task force specifically to discrimination? What about the announcement tells you that, or at least suggests that to you?
Because they are already saying that they are against the Merry Christmas, people saying not saying Merry Christmas. They're against people in elected offices being cued about their religious beliefs and all that, but yet they're using the same platform to discriminate and to do all kinds of things and saying that it's from the evangelical community.
Okay.
That they
Okay, let's go to Lewis. Last call on this topic, North Carolina. Go ahead.
Top of the morning to everybody. Happy C-SPAN. Hey, you know what? How can you have so much hate and say you love the Lord or you know God? But look, I wonder, with this task force that they're trying to put together, will they have on white robes and white caps riding on a horse, and then if you don't accept who they trying to get you to accept, they burn a cross in your yard? Are these the same people? Because we done been there and seen that and done that, and it didn't work then.
Okay, Lewis will be the last topic on this conversation this morning.